The Igbo people are the pride of Nigeria. I am not here to talk down on any tribe or to be tribalistic, but this has to do with critical thinking, history, and complete understanding of things. Now, I know that for the past decades, so many false narratives has been sponsored against the Igbo people, conspiracy to talk down on the Igbo people. It is very common. You see Nigerians, they will keep saying that Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria because they keep causing problem anywhere they go. This is a very false narrative. What is their offense? Because this is a tribe that have decided to thrive without permission. Here are some of the things that gave birth to this conspiracy. Because the whites, the Europeans, they think that Igbo people are set of people that seems to be nearly impossible to be governed, simply ungovernable tribe. I will drag you back to what happened in about 1803 during the Igbo landing, when a group of Igbo people were decoyed into a slave ship. Remember, they were not sold. They were told, follow us to this our land and you will come back with these treasures. Igbo people and their curiosity in nature, they decided to follow the slave ships. Remember, they were not sold. So when they got to Dunbar Creek, Georgia, they realized that they were about to be subjected into slavery. What they did, they fought because an Igbo man believed that he believed in freedom. He believed that tropics are the gift of God to be exploited by those who could and not the birthright of any claiming to be indigenous. Igbo men, they believe in freedom. And what did they do? After they realized that they were about to be sold into slavery, they had to fight for their freedom. They fought for their freedom and overpowered the ship captain and took over the ship. But when they realized that they were already in unknown land, instead of them to be subjected into slavery, they decided to commit suicide because they believe that death is better than bondage. What they did, they walked into the sea and drowned themselves, singing Omambala Banibia, Omambala Gebuanyala, because they believe that when they die in that river, they will return back to their ancestral land because the river is connected to their ancestral river, Omambala River. Now, do you understand something? This is the brain or the mindset of an average Igbo man. They don't believe to be subjected into slavery. They will definitely work their way out. No matter how the world or no matter how the situation treats an Igbo man will never surrender. That is a different mindset. Now, I am going to drag you back to again what happened after the Biafra-Nigeria war. After the war, the war declared no victor, no vanquished, and every Igbo family was given 20 pounds. No matter the amount of money they had in their bank account, they were only given 20 pounds. And this conspiracy was to remain them poor, to impoverish them. But what did they do with the 20 pounds they were given to? They used the 20 pounds and became one of the richest tribe in Africa. How did they do it? Entrepreneurship, Igbo Amaka. Like I said, they embraced entrepreneurship. What did they do? They moved into business. They joined money together and moved into business. When you move into business and started doing well in the business started flourishing. What will they do? They will now bring in their younger brother or their cousin and teach him the trade. When he mastered the trade, they will say to him, give him a certain amount of money to go and establish his own trade. The new person will now go and establish his own trade. When he started doing well, he will now say, oh, I have a younger brother, let me bring him in. He will bring his younger brother in and teach him the trade. His younger brother will start doing the trade. When his younger brother started doing well, he will say to his younger brother. His younger brother will stay on his own. That younger brother, when he started doing well, he will say, now I am doing well. Let me bring in our last born or let me bring in our cousin. There, they started growing. But today, they are not doing fine, living as one of the wealthiest tribes in Africa. This is why I said earlier that the Europeans are the ones sponsoring these false narratives and this conspiracy against the Igbo people, because they knew that once Igbo people came into power, Igbo people will move Nigeria drastically from consumption to production. They will industrialize Nigeria. Okay, now look at Aba. How Aba is industrialized. What Igbo people is doing. Now, what will happen if Igbo people have the government by their sides? The Europeans, they don't want any situation that Nigeria will be industrialized, because they know that when Nigeria is industrialized, their overseas industries will starve and the migration will change direction. Let me tell you, Nigerians should not be traveling again outside country in search of greener pastures. Rather, other people will be traveling, visiting Nigeria for greener pastures. This remains the fact. I am not trying to politically promote a particular tribe, but I am trying to educate the mind of average Nigerians that thinks that Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. This is a false narrative sponsored from the pit of hell. Whether you like it or not, the Igbo people will become the solution of Nigeria problem. And I know so many people might disagree with this, but however, I will still tell you that Igbo people are the solution to Nigeria problem, not the problem of Nigeria. Now, let's talk about one Nigeria. You cannot say one Nigeria when there is no unity. You cannot say there is unity when the differences are recognized. This person is Igbo, this person is Yoruba, this person is Hausa. What does it show? And a complete hating on a particular tribe. Is that unity? There is no unity when the differences are recognized. In Nigeria, you can say that I am one with you, but you recognize the differences and you will tell me that there is unity. There is no unity in Nigeria. If there is unity in Nigeria, or if there is any tribe that is worthy of saying one Nigeria, it is the Igbo tribe. Because wherever you go in Nigeria, any part of Nigeria, any state, you see an Igbo man living peacefully, doing his business, because they believe that an Igbo man will explore in anywhere he go to. They believe that tropics are the gift of God to be exploited by those who could, and not the birthright of any claiming to be indigenous. An Igbo man is in every part of Nigeria, doing his business peacefully. But other tribes does not behave like Igbo people. If other tribes will take away the past and embrace the future, Nigeria will be a better place. Now, let me tell you a little story for those of us saying that Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. Let me tell you why Igbo people deserve some credit, why their history cannot just be stolen. Now, there is a certain slave girl called Onyeka that was sold into slavery in about 15th or 16th century, if I'm not mistaken. This Onyeka was sold into France in slavery. There, she was serving as a slave. This was the period or the era where men can use women, and women will get pregnant and face the consequences, and the men can easily walk away without consequences. Onyeka started thinking, how can I save these people? How can I save my fellow women from this shame, from this pain, from this agony? She started using the womb of animal, the intestine of animal, to create a condom. After Onyeka produced this protection, the rate by which women were getting pregnant reduced. The rate by which diseases were spreading reduced, and men started ordering for this, started paying to get this. But when condom was finally modernized, this part of history was stolen, erased, and the credit was given to men. They never gave us the credit we deserve. Now, what is the takeaway of this story? The mindset of an average Igbo man is not about consumption, rather about production and turning raw materials into finished goods. And this is the mindset Africa needs to survive. God bless Africa.